Well, hello, Toreros, far and near and far. It is Tuesday, the second day of November, 2021. It's a beautiful day here in Monrovia, California. A little bit on the cool side, but sunny and not a cloud in the sky. So hope you all are doing very, very well. Hope that you're thriving. Hope everyone around you is doing well as well. And hope that you're moving, making progress on your review and doing well in that regard. So this week, for not having a lot to talk about, I do have a lot to talk about. So I want to kind of cover some more observations, and then I want to talk with you a little bit about your part A. Some of you have already done your part A. Some of you are not quite there yet, which is fine. And some of you are looking at the part A as an imminent endeavor. So we want to talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk about this week's assignment, which basically is last week's assignment and the week before that's assignment and the week before that's assignment. So yeah, we are on the verge of week 10, if you can believe that. We've got 6 weeks to go, and before you have to turn in your final literature review, which is due on the 17th of December. So anyway, without further ado, let me share my screen with you and let's get going. Let's ramp this baby up. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. That's what we want right here. Okay, there we go. Sharing. I want to get to the, oh, come on now. This is the thing that always bugs the heck out of me. Slideshow, and from the beginning, from the top. Okay, let me move myself up a little bit. There we go. All right. So some observations and reminders. And sometimes I feel like I'm being really negative and critical, and that's not the way that I want to come across. I want to give you tips of the trade to make, to help, help you, okay, to help you improve as a scholar, a thinker, and a writer. So, and I realize that you're kind of still in this transition between sort of coursework writing to the more scholarly writing. And it can be a little bit disorienting because I'm asking you to write in a kind of a different way than what you have been used to. And, and it's interesting because I talk with my colleagues in the leadership department or leadership studies department, or Department of Leadership Studies, if you want to be more formal. And we go back and forth about, the use of, the personalization of your writing, and I'm of the school where I'm not keen on personalization of making it, in first person or even writing in third person, just, being very neutral. Some people feel that first person is fine. I'm just not one of those people. So that's pretty much why, if you're used to having, writing more personally, from within your own experiences and things of that nature. If you're used to that, then you're being asked to not be like that, and you've done kind of 3 years worth of coursework where you've done that kind of writing, well, it can throw you off a little bit. But you're doing it, and you're going to be fine, and life is gonna move on, and you're going to get your lit reviews done and pass your part A's and get on to everything. So of that, I'm pretty certain. So I've been giving you, when you send me your drafts, okay, I try the best I can to get things turned around within about a week, okay, or less than a week, because I know time is of the essence, and so I got to get on it as well. And so I go line by line, so it does take me a while to get through. If you send me a 31-page document, it's going to take me more than a couple of days to get through it. It just, you figure about half hour, 25 minutes, half hour per page to do line editing and to do, to write comments, and of which I'm fairly prolific, I must say, and making edits. So you get a lot of feedback, and it could be disconcerting. Okay, I mean, I know you're adults and you can handle it. But it's to make you better, as I said, make you better thinkers, writers, and scholars. And it's not personal at all, okay? I may be blunt because I have a lot to go through. So it's, I'm trying to be as efficient as I possibly can. And speaking of comments and edits, make sure you attend to my comments and accept all the edits for your next draft, which is due on or about the end of the month. Because I hope not to see the same issues in your next draft. Okay. When I make edits, I do expect them to be accepted, because, and you can, if you look at them, you may say, oh, well, I don't know about that. Maybe I want to keep it. Well, okay, there's a little bit of leeway there, but by and large, I want you to accept all the edits, attend to the comments. And like I said, I don't want to run into the same issues that are, see the same things that I have to comment on again or re-edit. Okay, so it's a matter of efficiency in part. And it's also because if you do these things, then your writing is going to improve. I hope so. That's reason why I spend so much time writing comments and making edits is to make things a little bit clearer for you. Okay. So most of the comments that I make are about sort of extending your thoughts. Basically, go further to provide a full explanation, description, definition, whatever. Okay. So don't leave the reader hanging in suspense. Don't leave potential questions unanswered. Be thorough, but brief. Okay, remember, we still got to be parsimonious, but you want to explain things in full and explain why things happen, not just how they happen. Okay, that's an important distinction in scholarly writing. Now you're extending your thinking about, from process to, sort of, I'm not going to say causality, well, kind of causality, I suppose, but, explaining what influences what, how things happen, but why, what's behind them. Okay. So kind of get behind the scenes. All right. Let's see, what are we doing here? Oh, there we go. Sort of furthering that thought. So if something you say isn't clear to me, it likely won't be clear to others. So always consider your audience. Okay. You're not writing for you are writing for yourself, because this is the foundation of your dissertation study. And so it is you, it's your voice, it's you expressing the ideas that you come across in literature that you find to be important, salient, and relevant. But you have, in scholarly writing, you always have someone who's critical of what it is that you're saying. You've got readers, you have an audience. In coursework, you have a professor, right? Now you'll have me, and then you have, when you get to the dissertation seminar, you have Bob Donmoyer, and then, people reading who read your two-fact members who read your part A. So you have to have a kind of a thick skin to withstand the slings and arrows and barbs and criticisms about your work. Okay. That's one of the things about being a doc student, you got to be able to take it just the way it is. Okay. And anyone who's got a PhD, you have to put up with it, because that's just part of the process and being part of a doctoral, and being in a doctoral program. So, okay, enough about that. But then once you get on with your, dissertation, you have your committee who you have to satisfy, and then ultimately, when you get published, you're going to have peer reviewers who are looking at it and go, this is, what are you thinking here? Why are you thinking that? Why are you writing it this way? Why aren't you writing it that way? So, as an academic, you are subject to intense scrutiny. And so this is where, in this course right here, right now, this is where that's happening. It's where that's beginning. So like I say, you got to have a kind of a thick skin. Don't take it personally. Just consider it part of the improvement, you're improving your academic, credentials. All right. So edits are to make your writing tighter, cleaner, crisper, and much more parsimonious. Okay. Why say things like I think I said last week and maybe the week before? Why say use 5 words when 2 will suffice? You know, that's the big $10,000 question. Nice English breakfast tea. So, you know, and there's also about adhering to APA guidelines, which you should be doing in all your writing. You know, I harp on this all the time, and you know, the key. You know, it's not just what you write. I think I've said this many times. It's not just what you write; it's how you write, and everything you write, every draft should be in APA format. Even if it's a draft, it doesn't matter. You know, go to APA format. And I'm going to tell you this. Okay, we all have the 7th edition, right? But you know, this is what helps me, and this is what I keep writing. I just reached over because it's readily available. You see this? You can get this on Amazon or eBay or something. But here's your 6-page quick and easy guide to the APA. Okay, APA guidelines. Okay, fold out. I've shown you this before. 6 pages. Woo, look at that. Fun. Okay. I mean, this thing's a godsend. You know, if you have a question about anything APA, either this or the manual is going to give you those answers. So get in the habit of writing in APA style. Okay. I really, this is, you know, I'm harping on it, but that's, you know, you got to get used to it now, because you're going to be required to write in that style. You know, if you're, like I say, right through your dissertation proposal, right through your dissertation, and if you get published, you know, it's APA all the way, whether, you know, regardless of whether it's the 6th edition, 7th edition, 8th edition, which ultimately will be published, I'm sure. You know, you have to, you use it, you live by it. It's a pain in the butt. I know it is, because you just want to kind of freestyle, freeform and everything, but that's not what scholarly writing is all about. So you have to attend to it. All right, enough about that. In between and now and the next draft is due. If you want me to look yours over, I am more than happy to do so. In fact, it's, you know, I do encourage it, because you know, between today, the 2nd of November, and the 30th, that's 28 days. That's over 3 weeks. That's a long time, 4 weeks. It's a long time. So if you do want me to look it over, comment, edit, whatever, do let me know, and I certainly will do that. Because I really, I mean, you know, I get a little nervous. It's 6 weeks out, and I'm like, okay, come on, everyone, you know, it's keep moving, but you know, making good progress, but I also want it to be, you know, well written. So there you go. Again, I don't want to be negative or anything. I want to be more positive. So avoid using, I mean, this is made negative. If you can, okay, well, no, you can, you should. Okay, don't, you know, use terms, avoid using terms like infer and significance. For now, do it for now, okay? Because therefore, your chapter 4, when you're writing up your results, use it for when you say you're inferring something, it means that you've used inferential statistics to answer some kind of question, okay? And you're not using inferential statistics at this point in time. And when you talk about something that's significant, okay, in academia, significant means what are the chances that something happened? In effect, there was an effect that was found, or 2 things were similar or different. You know, significance is you know, based on a probability. Okay, and so you're not at the point, you haven't conducted the study, you haven't done collected data, you haven't done the data analysis and all that kind of stuff. So you can't really, you know, shouldn't use infer and significant. There are better terms. You could say imply, or what's another word for significant? I don't know another word for significant off the top of my head, but you can come up with a word for significant. Okay. Okay, let's see. Come on. Okay. If you want more eyes on your draft, or you feel like I'm not offering you the kind of assistance you need, do send it to our writing center. And I will in no way be offended. I will tell you a little story, brief story. So when I was doing my dissertation, the chair of my committee said, and we won't talk about that. The chair of my committee suggested that I send my draft of my dissertation to a company, a firm, someone who edits, okay, who can help. Like I'm serving that role now. I'm doing editing and I'm commenting and things like that. But there's also, there are people that will actually do that with, if you don't have, and we at the time we didn't really have I don't think we had a writing center per se, but be that as it may, so I sent my dissertation to someone to look it over, another set of eyes, and it really it made a huge difference in the quality of my work. And I am forever grateful to this person who really, really kind of got me thinking about some of the things that I was, saying, and how to say it better, and how to say it with fewer words, and how to format better, and all this kind of stuff. So, like I say, if I'm not getting the job done for you, which is, may not be, who knows? Do send it, do get in touch with the Writing Center. The link is right there. Do get in touch with the Writing Center and have them look it over. Okay, it's a good, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, and it's not, and it's not any, it's not a referendum on you. It's just, it's another set of eyes. And it's always in academia, it's always good to have more eyes than just your own. Okay, because more eyes pick things up that you do not pick up, or they will say, well, why are you saying it this way? Why are you saying it that way? And it's not to be critical. It's just to kind of help you clarify what it is that you're writing. So I think it's an important resource for, just like V is a fantastic resource. Writing Center, number one. So, and like I said, I won't be offended at all. So anyway, okay, do me a favor, and maybe in a draft, it's kind of okay, but please do not cut and paste figures or tables into your lit review. It does look kind of amateurish, okay? Create them with your own keen eye and steady hand, right? Because typically if you cut and paste a figure or a table, it usually you can't customize, okay? You can't, because the APA formatting, you have to say you look for a figure one, then you have to have the title of figure one. There's got to be so much space between, and there should be nothing else. There shouldn't be anything else in the figure except what's in the figure. Okay, if you've got, if you pulled it out of some journal or something, and it's got a heading on it or what have you, well, that's not the APA way. So, if you're using it as a placeholder, that's fine. For a draft, it's fine to have a placeholder, but in the final, just make sure that you're doing it yourself. Okay. And also with tables and figures, make sure you introduce, I said this last week, I'm going to say it again, make sure you introduce them. Okay, tell the reader what they're going to see and what you want them to look for, and what the figure table, what's in the table or figure, how it relates to what you're trying to convey to them. Okay. All right. Remember, you don't need to go back more than 10 years in the literature for primary sources. If it's like the seminal piece in the field, it's that this is the one upon which all other literature in the field is based. Well, yeah, you can talk about that because that's, you can kind of talk about the evolution of the thinking of whatever it is that you're talking about. But typically 10 years is fine. You don't need to go, anything else is kind of clutter. So declutter your mind. Cite, and cite some more, okay? Not your original thought, you need to cite, okay? I see lots of and I said this before, I see it again, I'm gonna say it again. These big blocks of writing that don't have any references. I'm like, well, are these your thoughts or are you getting them from somewhere else? And if you're getting these thoughts from somewhere else, then you need to provide a reference, okay? So, and this is, in part, being able to reference in the text is a kind of a function of your keeping track of of who says what. Okay, so you have this part of your organizational skill set because you're keeping track of, you have an article and you've got all this information from the article. Well, and you put that information into the body of your lit review, well, then you have to make sure that you remember or know where it came from. So it's a matter of organizing your information. Okay. Okay. Unless you are directly quoting, no need for quotation marks. If you directly quote, do include the page number with the reference per APA guidelines. Okay. I see a lot of you're putting quotation marks around things that don't need quotation marks. But if it's you're pulling it, if it's like the author is saying this directly, it's got, and you should quote them, but you also need to put a page number. So like I said last week, whoever reads your lit review can go back and look at the sources of, the sources you used. So that's why they're there. It's not, they're mainly so that people can kind of check up on you if they want to, or they want more information, whatever it may be. So do remember quotes, put the page number. Do avoid beginning sentences with conjunctions for, and because. Also, the better way, now I'm trying to be more positive, the better way is to say in addition to, further, or additionally. Okay, don't start with and, because, also, or even or, for that matter. Avoid idiomatic expressions. For example is a better choice than for instance. You don't need to be folksy or cute in your writing, just kind of plain and direct. Just tell it like it is, okay? If you're a teacher in the classroom, you're telling those kids like it is, and tell the reader like it is, okay? There you go. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, part A, here we go. Again? Yep, again. So let me just, the powers that be asked me to, we had a little convo yesterday, and we were talking about the lit review class, and we were talking about part A, we were talking about all kinds of things. And they just wanted me to re-emphasize, which I have done on multiple occasions, but they want me to re-emphasize the part A. If you've done a part A or you're not ready to do a part A, you can skip this whole part, and well, you'll have to kind of wait because I'm going to go through it, and then you can just go get some coffee or something, okay? So the objective of your lit review is not only to provide a foundation for your dissertation, but also to fulfill the part A requirement. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Okay. The thing that I must impress upon you is you won't be able to take Lead 610, which is the next course in sequence, without having passed your part A. Okay. That's why I'm kind of putting the pressure on. So your part A is due approximately 3 weeks before the start of spring 2022 semester, January. So your part A is due 3 weeks before January 27th. So, you need to send it to your chair or advisor if you don't have a chair by on or before January 3rd. Okay. So, and the part A is not, I don't think it's that difficult to do. I think you probably do it in a day if you had to. Okay. But just to be clear, if for some reason your lit review, you don't get your part A done, and to your chair advisor, then if you don't do that, okay, you don't pass the part A, which, you only need 20 total points to pass it. The lit review basically is your part A, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But if you miss the 610, the next 610, which starts in the spring, there's no way of knowing when it will be offered again. And I really don't need to tell you what the implications are for missing the next 610. You may have to work, you would have to wait that whole semester, maybe another semester, who knows how long you'd have to wait. And that extends you out, could extend you out a semester, could extend you out a year, who knows? So, that's why this is important. Okay. Again and again, part A. So the link is I sent you the guide from part A to graduation or dissertation. I can never remember the title of it, but you've got it. It's in Blackboard. And I'm also providing the link here. Okay, so read through that and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So my suggestion is this. Again, trying to be positive. Turn your final lit review to me on Friday, December 17th. Okay. Then get to work on your part A. You'll have approximately 2.5 weeks to complete it, but it will already be mostly completed anyway because, well, lit review. All right. You only need to cover 2-3 areas, topical areas. The part A is asking you what literature are you reviewing for your dissertation? That's kind of the essence of it. The guide will tell you exactly what the particulars are, but so so you can see the connection between the lit review and the part A. No part A, no 610. Okay, so that's where we're at. And look, you're all adults. I know you're busy. I know you got lives and families and partners and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not gonna chase you down for stuff. All right, it's not my job to be hounding you to turn things in. Your adults, get them in on time. If you get them in a timely manner, then I can work with them and I can get them back to you and you can incorporate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's, it's kind of a never-ending process until the final version on the 17th of December. So, all right. Like I said, your part A doesn't have to be your full lit review. Yay, woo, okay. It can be between 1 to 3 topical areas. Again, follow the guide. The guide is all knowing, the guide is all seeing, or the guide is all seeing, the guide is all knowing. The guide, okay? So there you go. All right, week 10 assignment. Like I said at the beginning, it's the same assignment as it was last week, the week before, and the week before, and the week before. So it's me time. Continue working and making progress on your lit review. Set aside at least an hour per day, ideally at the same time, in the same place, to craft your literature review. Again, if you want me to review a recent draft as you're working on it, send it forth. Feedback isn't limited to specific times. It's ongoing, okay? Sure, I have things to do, but you are my priority, and so let's keep to the schedule, keep the process going, okay? And if you have questions or want to chat, let me know via email and we'll set up a meeting. And again, remember, I'm available from 84 hours a week, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. That's pretty much 7 days a week. So, okay, let's stop the share. Okay, so that's it for this week. Covered everything I wanted to cover. And like I say, if you want eyes on your drafts, do send them to the writing center. Want me to look it over, send them to me. All right, so listen, have a great week. Be productive, use your time wisely. Questions, comments, issues, let me know, and I'll be back same time next week, maybe a little earlier, who knows. So anyway, have a great week, and I will talk with you very, very soon. All right, as they say in Italy, ciao.